Growing a digital business today means managing a completely unmanageable pile of software. You likely have one subscription for your link in bio page, a freelancer handling search engine optimization, a separate contractor editing your video clips, and a web development agency trying to keep your site from crashing. Every new tool or contractor adds a layer of administrative friction. You end up spending your week managing vendors and paying a dozen different monthly invoices instead of actually creating content or building your product. For most creators and startups, the real bottleneck to scaling isn't a lack of good ideas. It is the sheer friction of keeping this fragmented digital infrastructure running. This is the exact problem ServixerSpace is trying to solve. They operate as a highly unusual hybrid, part self-serve software platform, part full-suite corporate digital agency. Their core product, the Creator OS version 2, is explicitly designed to eliminate the 10-tool juggle. They force your links, AI ideation, video editing requests, and social growth metrics to converge into a single environment. Consolidating your operations promises massive time savings, but it forces a difficult question. If you rely on one single company for everything from TikTok strategy to custom Next.js software development, Next.js being a framework used to build fast web applications, do you end up with mediocre results across the board? We need to look closely at the numbers to see if extreme vendor centralization is a viable way to scale, or if it dilutes your competitive edge. Let's look at the solo creator's daily workflow. Right now, that looks like generating ideas in an AI bot, copying them into a script document, filming the footage, and manually migrating those heavy files to standalone analytics and link sharing tools. Servixer requires you to move all of those disjointed daily functions strictly into their Creator OS dashboard. By eliminating the constant toggling, exporting, and importing between different applications, you buy back hours of raw administrative time every single week. But bundling software always comes with a strict trade-off. Convenience comes at the cost of capability. This matrix compares a bundled system to single-purpose apps. Dedicated applications build hyper-specialized technical features, seen as vertical spikes. A platform stretches a wide horizontal bar across many categories. An all-in-one system maximizes operational speed, not technical dominance. For an operations-heavy creator, sacrificing the top 10% of highly niche software features is often a logical trade for a 50% reduction in daily administrative friction. On the enterprise side, growing small businesses and startups face a different scale of the same problem. They need infrastructure, like custom software, mobile app development, and bespoke search engine optimization. Scaling infrastructure traditionally means hiring separate web, design, and marketing agencies. You end up with competing priorities, pulling your project in completely different directions. Servixer handles this entire stack in-house, moving projects through a 4-step framework: discovery, strategy, development, and launch. The advantage here is total strategic alignment. The exact same team writing the code base for your custom application is also architecting the marketing campaign to sell it. This architecture reveals a critical risk. By consolidating, you tether your entire business to a single external entity, creating extreme vendor lock-in. If the relationship sours, your code base, search rankings, and video assets are jeopardized simultaneously without independent backups. Handing your operations to a full-stack agency is a massive structural bet. You are prioritizing long-term vendor reliability over the safety of diversified operational risk. Then there is the financial friction. Business owners routinely deal with opaque agency retainers, prolonged discovery phases, and hidden fees. Servixer attempts to solve this with an AI-powered valuation engine, scanning global data points to calculate a market-calibrated quote for your project. This lets you bypass weeks of back-and-forth negotiation. You get an instant estimate backed by a price match guarantee. This flowchart compares pricing models, but heavily polished content often strips away the raw, authentic roughness that actually drives organic algorithm performance on platforms like TikTok and YouTube. Standardized systems, whether an algorithmic pricing engine or a high-volume editing pipeline, provide excellent frictionless baselines, but they will always struggle to handle unique anomalies. Looking at the totality of the Servixer ecosystem, it is a highly aggressive play for complete digital consolidation. The decision to use it shouldn't be based on the individual features of the tools. It should be based on your primary business bottleneck: Do you need to save time or extreme technical depth? This decision tree maps the ideal users. If you're an ops-heavy creator drowning in subscriptions or a scaling business hurting freelancers, this system is for you. But if your business requires top 1% bleeding-edge specialization, like algorithmic trading or hyper-niche search, you will hit a wall. A hybrid agency and software platform provides a reliable, centralized baseline. It cannot replace the depth of top-tier specialized talent. In digital business, you can optimize your operations for maximum convenience and centralization, or you can optimize for maximum specialized depth. You cannot have both. Committing to Servixer requires a psychological shift. You must surrender granular control over every single detail in exchange for sheer operational velocity. Take a look at your current technology stack and your roster of freelancers. Calculate whether the friction of managing all those moving parts is costing you more capital and time than the actual output they generate. Selecting this platform prioritizes your internal workflow. It turns operational speed into a competitive advantage, removing the friction of a fragmented tech stack.